Welcome to Insight Builder channel, large language model automators, AI enthusiasts, and my dear friends. Revolutionizing team communication in Slack. AI powered Slack app that answers math queries. The goal: develop a Slack app that can provide reply to human messages by using LLMs like TextDaVinci. This app is very similar to the Telegram bot that we recently worked with. If you have seen my earlier videos, just let me go to the browser for a moment and let me show you the earlier discussions that I was having. So here you see there are lots of integrations that I have been doing with respect to the large language model, especially the OpenAI models, and also in some cases Hugging Face open source models, and then linking it with various services like Gmail, Twitter, and YouTube, comment section, Telegram, etc. Now we are going to work with Slack. So let me show you what exactly we are going to achieve. Here is a particular app that I have created called as Ada New, and I am going to ask this particular app that what is the sum of 125, 5788 and some other random number, and I am asking it in a regular English. So then you get the answer that it is 13,469. So if you calculate it by doing the sum, you will find out that the answer is correct. And you might be wondering how is the app able to do that? Have I got any kind of backend application that parses this English into numbers and finding it out? Actually, at the backend, I have the Langchain, the library that is prevalent in large language models, and I am using something called as LLM math chain inside that particular application. So let me show you that to you in a moment. Let me go back to the application where this is running, and you will see that this particular activity has happened. So I am asking what is the sum, and the LLM math chain is taking the numbers and it is giving the answer out. And internally, this LLM math chain uses Python related functions. All these things is happening at the backend with this specific code that you are seeing here. I'll be right now. So I have introduced you what exactly we are going to do with Slack app and how we are going to make the app more AI powered. Now let us go to the presentation again. Coming to the discussion. So what we need to achieve. So in order to see this, the application that I showed to you right now, you saw that it was doing a lot of stuff. So it was taking data from the user, it was reading it, and it was connecting with OpenAI through Langchain, and I was telling these things to you, but it is doing a lot of things at the backend. So understand first of all Slack Bolt API. In case of Slack, there are two APIs. One is Slack SDK and Slack Bolt. For this particular application that we are trying to build, it is better to go with Slack Bolt. I tried with Slack SDK. There you need to have a little more complex but more secure way of more secure and more robust way of working with the application. Slack Bolt comes from the socket side. So Slack SDK comes from the events and HTTP related connectivity, but Slack Bolt comes from socket mode, and this socket mode is very much better if you are going to work inside the application that you are going to deploy within your team, and that is something that you are going to control, but not going to give it to the third party. I mean third party like the entire globe. So if you are not going to do that, then socket mode will be much more better for you guys. Also, for this particular introduction video, going with Slack Bolt will be much more simpler rather than going with Slack SDK. So I had done some basic reviews yesterday, and then I came across to the Slack Bolt, and I decided to go with that. We have to create new apps and get the API keys. I will be telling you how to do that. We need to learn how to get the app to use LLM replies. This is pretty simple. We can use Python for that. We need to script it, and then we need to initiate the chat with the app on Slack channel. I'll be showing you how to do that and check the outputs. Now, this particular step is something that you have to try and do it. You can try and extend this chat app for making it ready for app mentions. So there are various methods inside Slack, like using commands, using mentions, using simple user messages. So each of this kind of interaction triggers its own methods inside the Slack app. I will explain to you those things in brief way, and then as usual search for new challenges. So as you see that when you look from the outset, creating an AI powered Slack app might actually look complicated. But once you break down the problem, you will see it's matter of getting the data from someone, processing it, and then presenting the data to that particular user. This is the key point that you need to understand. The same thing that we have been working with various other services like Gmail, YouTube. What are the services? At the end of the day, the service is going to take the inputs from a couple of users, process it, and then give the output to someone else. This is the overall task, right? Now, before we actually dive into Slack apps and start working on the APIs, etc., we need to be aware of three different types of tokens that is available inside the Slack environment. There is bot token, there is app token, and there is app level token. When we are going to work on this particular application, we need to work on bot token, that is XXOB, and we need to work on app level tokens. So what happens is the tokens actually allow the application to do some activities. It gives permissions to the application to send message, receive message, process the message, etc. So for that, we need to work with the bot tokens and app level tokens. You don't need to actually dive deep into it for this particular proof of concept. As you go forward, if you are planning to dive deep into Slack related application, bring more use cases into Slack, then probably yes, you have to do a lot of research. I'll be showing you some of the places where you can do this research and go forward with your examples. Now, important tabs. So once you create the app, so this happens after you create the app. Once you create the app, you will have to go to the basic information tab where you will create the app level tokens. So this is where you do it. And then you need to go to OAuth permissions and you need to create this permission here. Apart from this also, we need to create a couple of permissions that I'll be showing it here. So we need to go to subscribe to bot events. That is, we have to go to the event subscriptions, and then you need to subscribe to all these events. Okay, so what is happening here is that the bot or the app basically waits for the input from the user, and it has to know when the user has given the input, right? And for that, it should be able to poll the couple of the methods that is available for the Slack API. So that is what these steps are doing. I'll be showing you in the application when I create it how to do it, but I am also sharing this presentation with you guys so that you can use it as a backup. After you do all these things, you can go to the app manifest. You will see that it is available here. Here. That app manifest will contain all the settings that you have done. So in this case, I have a different app name called as trial that I was working upon. You need to add these three lines. App home, you need to add these three lines. After that only you will be able to send messages to the app. This was something, it is not by default getting enabled in the app that I was creating. I had to go to Stack Overflow and find the workaround for this. So this 4 lines you need to add. By default only the bot user is available. This 4 line is not available. So do add it, then only it will work. With that said, as I was telling, there are 2 different Slack APIs. One is Slack SDK and another is Slack Bolt. We will be using Slack Bolt specifically. So I hope that you like this content. Do leave a like and give your comment. It's very valuable because right now I'm trying to integrate the large language models, that is AI language models, with the systems or services or products that we use day in and day out. There are lots of places where we can leverage artificial intelligence, and others are going to leverage it. So it is better that we actually understand how they are going to leverage. The point of these videos is not that we are going to we might actually build a sophisticated product too. That is not going to stop us. But the point is, we should know if someone is building, how they have built it, and you should actually know what is the value that is provided by that particular application. This steps, the ideas that I am providing it to you. If you are a developer, it's a well and good thing. Then you can practice it. You can build your own products and you can work on it. That is one way of thinking. But if you are a leader, if you are a senior who is exploring what is happening in this arena, then you will understand the steps that is required. So you could be an architect, or you could be actually working for a conglomerate who is thinking about entering into taking AI services and working with it in your organization and creating products. So you should know what it takes. And there are lots of hearsay and lots of news going on about various kinds of autonomous agents, various kinds of AI related, completely autonomous applications. At the end of the day, the applications are working on simple language models. I am saying simple because at the level of the task these language models can do, they are still only able to do simple tasks. Yeah, they are not able to do a level of task that the human can perform and make decisions that the human can perform. Yeah, we take time, but these agents and these language models, when it is connected to the internet, they seem to be working really fast. The challenge for the speed, what you're going to pay is money. So you're going to pay a huge amount of dollars for that particular task. The same task, when it is done by a human, it could be cheaper also, right? Same way, if you are going to ask, if you think about going to ChatGPT and asking, okay, build me a Slack app that connects with the language model, I'm pretty sure it will build it. There's no doubt. It might actually have lots of errors. You might have to walk back and forth. You might have to do research, but still, humans are going to be there in the middle. This is a point that I would like you guys to understand very clearly, and that is also one of the major motivation for me to build all these applications and show it to you how easy it is to interface the large language models, that is AI models, with the services that we have currently. And all it comes to it is that you should have a Python API, and you should be able to connect with Langchain or Hugging Face or Text AI, unstructured, or various ecosystem of libraries. It's not one or two libraries. There are almost 10 different libraries which can easily interface with open source as well as OpenAI related models, and then give you the outputs. So keep this in mind. If you're a data leader, if you're a senior, you should be knowing this so that you can make proper decisions. So with that said, let us go to the browser. Now, I already showed this particular series. You can take a look at that. I also have other series on Hugging Face models where I introduce various tasks as well as the models, and also I discuss about the ways of working with Langchain in a separate playlist. So you can find all these things in this YouTube channel. So take a look at that. You will find it very interesting. Next, you need to visit api.slack.com. This is where you have to sign in. You should have a Slack account. That is first thing. Second, you need to enter into api.slack.com, and then there you can build your apps. This is the first. This is the second step. Once you come to here, you can actually click on your apps, and once you click on your apps, you will be given the apps that you already have got. There you can actually create the new apps also. So you can create a new app here. Okay. So before we start going through this process, let me stop it right here and let me actually take you to Slack Bolt. If you go to slack.dev Bolt Python, so you have to go to this particular link. I'll be sharing this link with you guys. So if you search for Slack SDK or Slack API, then you will be given directly to Slack SDK. So I would suggest that don't use that particular library because it's little complicated. Slack Bolt is way more simpler. And so here you can see the getting started example here, and this getting started example will tell you exactly what I have told. So this particular video is going to walk you through this. Only thing which is going to do different is that instead of just working with the conditions or logic that is provided in this particular application, let me show it to you. So here what this application does is that, let me go down. Okay, so when some user actually gives a message hello, then it replies with the message hey there and the username. So this is what the application does. It is very simple. Okay, what the application does is if someone says hello to the app, it replies with the username hey there. That's it, nothing else. But one thing that you need to be aware of here is that this particular app.message is the method that is available for the app that is available in slack.bolt. So this particular slack.bolt import app is going to create this app, okay, this particular object, and this particular object has a message method which can take the message from the users. And what this message method does is it actually looks for certain patterns in the user message, and only if the pattern is met, then this particular method will get, this particular function will get executed. This is going to leave us in trouble. So see, you understand what I'm trying to say is, for an example, if I have coded like this, so app.message and I put hello inside, this particular function will only get triggered if the user sends a message called hello. Even if the user sends a message with a capital H, this particular function will not get enabled. So this actually got me into a little trouble, because see, I need to send any kind of language, right? I need to send simple English text or sentence, and the app.message should trigger this particular particular function. Then only I can use it. So think about it. If I can trigger this particular function, then what can I can put the logic here. I can put the logic telling that, okay, once I get the user message and process it and send the processed output as a output here. So this is the simplest thing that I can do. Then what I did, I had to actually go to basic concepts called listening messages. So I am actually showing you how I did the research. This is something that I have been wanting to share for a couple of videos, and this Slack SDK and Slack Bolt had given me this opportunity. So once I go into listening to messages, because that is what we are doing, we are listening to messages. So once I found, okay, you can actually give English messages directly, or you can use regular expression. You can use re.compile. So you have to import re here, and then you can compile the regular expressions like this. So this actually opens up a huge opportunity for us. So what we can do is we can create a regular expression which can match any of the English sentences. And then that sentence, whenever is given, any sentence that is given by the user will trigger the function below. So this is the logic that I used in this particular discussion. So, and this is how actually I went through the entire process of understanding how Slack API works, and then to use that whatever methods and functions available inside the Slack API to work with large language models. Okay, now that I have given you an overview of what has gone here, you can actually use this getting started page also to get yourself an app. So I don't have any issue. Only thing is I will be also explaining how to do that. Coming to the steps of creating the application. So all you need to do is create a new app. Once you create a new app, say from scratch, so give the name trial 2, and you need to select a workspace. Oh, I forgot to tell about this. In Slack, once you have the username, you can create your own workspace. And for this particular tutorial, I would suggest that you create your own workspace, give it a name, and then add yourself to that workspace. By default, I think it will be added. In my case, I already have a workspace called a seeding optimism, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to create the app. So once I create the app, that's it. Now we will get this particular setting. So you see the trial 2 here, and below that you will get all the settings. You will have the basic information of the app. You will have all the basic information. You will have the client secret, signing secret, verification token, etc. However, we are not going to use any of these things. If you are going to use Slack SDK, then yes, you will be using client secret, signing secret, etc. But we are not going to do that. What we are going to do is we are going to generate token here, and we are going to name it. So we are saying connect chat, okay, and connect chat, sorry. And we are going to say add scope, and here we are going to say connections write. So route your app interactions and even payloads or WebSockets. So this is what we are going to do. So connections write is what we are going to do it, and we are going to generate. So once you create the particular scope, then you will be given the first token. So this is the exact token that you need to copy it and keep it. So we'll be using it. Done. So this is the first step. Second step, what you need to do is you need to go to the you need to go to OAuth permissions, and in the OAuth permissions you can actually start adding the permissions here. Just a minute. Yeah, before going there, we need to actually get the interactivity up and running. Only when we have the interactivity up and running, then we can start working on the next step. So let us have the interactivity up and running. Then we go to the OAuth permissions. Once you go to OAuth permissions, then you can you can start working on the bot tokens. So that we already discussed, we can add the bot tokens. It's taking little time. So here you can actually add the bot tokens. So here we have to add everything related to messages. So if you take messages, just a minute. Yeah, let me go back to the presentation for a moment. So in the basic information, we created the app level token, and in the OAuth permissions, we have to create chat write. So this is the one that we are going to provide in chat write. So let me go to the browser again, and let us go. So once you say, once you add the OAuth scope, you will get the success at the top, and then you can actually add the rest of the tokens also. So yeah, once you add the tokens, you have to come up here and you need to install the app to the workspace. So couple of times you have to do the installation, and then only the app will work, or else the app will not. Even if you give the tokens, even if you give the application, Python application, still the app will not work. So ensure that you have done the installation first. Once you install it, I will show it to you right now in my Slack workspace. I will show you the application right now. If you go to my Slack workspace after installation, so if you go to add apps, if you click on add apps, then you will see there is a new app called as trial 2. So you see this. So this is the app that I'm talking about. And once you click on this app, you can start messaging it. But now you see that you cannot message because the app is not yet complete. So you need to complete the app manifest. So this is how the flow starts working. Right. Let us go back to the PDF. So we have done these two steps. Next, we need to subscribe to the bot events. So for that, we need to go to the browser again, go to the Slack API, go to events and subscriptions, and inside events and subscriptions, you need to enable first of all enable the events, and we have to still enable the sockets right now. So let me do that also. So I am enabling the events, and once I do that, I can subscribe to the bot events. I can add the bot events. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say message.im message.channels message. The way these particular what is it called? The permissions are designed, it's pretty it's done in object oriented way. So most of the things, once you start using it, you will understand exactly why this particular activity is being done. So that is one of the easiest thing that I have seen when it comes to working with Slack. So I am adding all these 4. So let us go back to the PDF for a moment to ensure that I am adding the right one: mpim, IM, groups and channels. So come back here, mpim, groups, channels and IM. Once that is done, you need to save the changes. Okay, now you see that save changes is not getting enabled. So you might be wondering what is going wrong. Sometimes what happens is that if you have not followed the process, actually I have not followed one important process. The important process is I have not actually enabled the socket mode. So you need to first of all enable the socket mode. So coming to the main app window, if you enable the socket mode, you have to enable the socket mode here first, and then you will see by default the interactivity and shortcuts are enabled, and even subscriptions are still no. Now we need to go to even subscriptions and then do the process again. So in the last time when I actually did not enable the socket mode, so it did not allow me to save the changes that I was making. So Slack has, all the programming languages have a specific logic that is already programmed into them. So if I miss any of this step, the program does not allow me to move forward. So that is something that you guys have to keep continuously in your mind. So if something is not happening, then it means that you have missed one of the steps. So it is as simple as, when you're making some when you're building something, you have to go as per the steps, right? But when I am explaining, I always make such mistakes. So now we see that save changes is properly getting enabled. So click on save changes. Once you click on save changes, you will see that I need to reinstall the app. So click on reinstall your app, And once you go there, you have to click on reinstall and the app will get reinstalled. You have to allow it. You will see that additional 2 lines are coming up. It is giving access for the app to the channels and conversation. So allow to that particular step, and then once this particular step is done, you need to go to the app manifest. So let me show you now the app manifest. So if you go to app manifest right now, app manifest would have got almost built. All the necessary permissions and tokens has been created. So the app manifest will be up and running. As I told, you need to add the 3 lines that I was talking about regarding the app home. Once you add that, then you will be able to start working with the app. So you see here, you see that 3 lines are missing for this trial 2. All you need to come here is that you come, sorry, just a minute. So now I have added these 3 lines. I am going to save changes. Again, I have to reinstall. So again, I have to reinstall the app. So click on reinstallation of the app. Once you reinstall it, and because I am actually now building the app interface. You see that, right? I am not still down to the programming. I am only building the app interface, and I am allowing it. And once you allow it and complete it, you will see that you will get a bot user OAuth token. So this is also another token that you need to copy it and keep it ready. Now let us go to the application and let me refresh it. You will see that to the app, I can right now send the messages. So this is the key point that I wanted you guys to understand. So once your app is built, once the front end of the app is built, then the back end can be built very easily. So yeah, you need to know the logic. Just give me a moment. So you see that now I can send the messages to the trial app. So this is what I was talking about. So initially I wasn't able to, now I am able to. Now after you send this message right now also, you will not get anything. So if I say hi there, you will not get any reply because this app is not having the backend installed. The backend is not configured yet, like how it is configured for Adanu. So Adanu, the backend is already configured. So next what I'm going to do is I'm not going to configure a new program for this particular app. This is the benefit of using the tokens. In the backend, all you need to do for a particular app to start working is to know the app token and the bot token. Once you know these 2 tokens, then you can give the particular app the logic that is required. So that is the key point that you need to clearly understand. Let us move to the terminal right now. Now we are going to look at the program, right? So we already saw how this program works. Now we are going to see how the logic is built into it. The logic, okay, the most of the code that I have taken written here is already taken from the example that is provided in the Slack examples. The getting started, let me go to the getting started for a moment so that you guys will know what I have done. So all I have done is I have gone to getting started with Bolt Python. I have gone down, I have followed all the processes here, and then here this particular code is what I have taken. And only thing that I have made the changes, instead of actually using app.message and use hello, what I have done, let me go to the terminal, and I have used something called as the regular expression compilation. So you see here, so I use inside the message, I am using regular expression compile. Let me zoom in a bit, just a minute, let me zoom this in so that, yeah. So here I am using the regular expression. This particular regular expression takes care of all kinds of sentences that you can make it in English. And guess how did I found this regular expression? Simple. I went and asked ChatGPT. I asked, give me a regular expression that can encompass all the all the human generated text that the human can provide, and this is the regular expression it has given me. So this regular expression will whatever command or whatever message you type in the Slack app, it will get compiled properly. And this, let me go down a bit, the logic, this particular function hello underscore message will get triggered. In case of the hello message function, you see there are 2 variables, 2 parameters, that is message and say. So message contains the data of the message, like when it was sent, who sent it, the user, from where it was sent, all the details will be there in the message. So by using message text, by using the text attribute in message, I can get the user message actually. And I take the user message and just pass it through the LLM math run. And then whatever reply I'm getting, I'm going to send it out back to the app by using the say function. So this is the say function that comes from Python API, the Slack API. So you see here, so I am whenever I am going to import the Slack API, I am going to import Slack bolt from app, and I'm going to import the adapter Slack bolt.adapter socket mode, and I'm going to use the socket mode handler. Once I have these things imported, then I can create the app, create this app here. You see the app that I'm creating. When I'm creating the app, I need to send the token. When I'm creating the app, I need to send the bot token. So this is something you guys have. That is why I kept the token directly here. Okay, so yeah, it is not secure, but at the end of the day, to properly, easily explain to you what is going on, this is much more easier. But if you are going to work in production environment, you need to use this particular token inside your environmental variable and then refer that environmental variable using os.environ, like how I have done for OpenAPI AI key. You see this here, right? You need to do that way. But here, when I am discussing, I'm going to anyway destroy this application app after I show it to you guys. So it's not going to be a security issue. And where we'll be using the app token. So in the actual application, we are going to use socket mode handler. So this particular class is going to take our app and it is going to take the app level token. So this is where the app level token is getting used. So I hope that you understand what is going on here. So the app level token is, at a higher level than the bot level token. So the bot level token is part of the application. And once the app is ready, the app will have its own capabilities. So app is like this particular, okay, when I'm saying app, I'm talking about the app object. So this is a little confusing when we are discussing. So we are discussing about Slack app object, the app object here, and the app object has its own middleware, its own message method, its own error method, etc. And each of these methods have their own variables that is already inbuilt. And out of those variables, message and say are the variables that is available. Say is used for sending the reply back to the app, to the user, and message is used for getting the information from the user. And this LLM math. So let me explain LLM math. So now you understood what is going on here. So I'm getting the user input using this user request variable. I am using the say to send the reply. So this is the place where I am sending the reply. You see this is the place where I am sending the reply. I'm using the LLM reply as a send here, using the string literal, using the F command. But you must be wondering, okay, what is this LLM math? What is this doing? LLM math is done, it is a part of Langchain. So Langchain is a library that helps to interface Python with large language models like Hugging Face and OpenAI and various other models available. It has a huge ecosystem of libraries, large language models, services, etc. Out of that, OpenAI is pretty standard. So you guys must be knowing about ChatGPT, Text DaVinci. We will be using Text DaVinci, and we are going to create the large language model instance, the LLM instance inside the Langchain, and then we are going to create the LLM math chain instance. So this is the LLM math chain instance, and we are going to give the LLM instance to LLM math chain. If you are not aware of all these things, how it works, etc., there's a separate series itself that I have created for Langchain. Do watch that. This particular discussion is related to integrating Langchain with Slack. So I'm not going deep into these concepts. So once I create this particular instance, LLM math chain instance, then all I need to do is just call LLM math.run and give it the user input. And LLM math.run will call the LLM that is available in OpenAI server, and then it will give you the output. So this is what is happening in this single line. So let me go back to the PDF. So now actually we have completed the entire steps, and it took some time, right? So we saw all the steps that we took. So we understood how the Slack Bolt API is, how to create new app, how to even get your workspace, how to work with to see how the app and LLMs can be linked, how the script has to be written using LLM match chain, and initiate the chat with the app. So we saw all these steps, and we also checked the outputs also. So now you have an overview on how to connect the large language models. So this particular goal, how to connect the large language models like TextDaVinci to Slack app. So we have seen how it can be done. And see, at the end of the day, when you are going to go step by step, you will learn a lot. There is no doubt. But when you know exactly what is going on, so like for an example, let us go to the browser for a moment. For an example, you go to this particular app here, and you are asking what's the power of, let us say, let me ask something. What is power? What is 577 raised to power of 0.01? Okay, 0.05. So this is something that I am coming offhand. I am not even thinking what I am typing. So what happens is this actually goes through the entire process, and then let me show it to you right now. Just give me a moment. So let me go to the terminal right now. So you see the chain is already started here. So the LLM match chain has started here, and it is trying to connect with the large language model and try to get the answer. Sometimes what happens is when you are trying to create such a application, if the LLM, or if the connectivity between your application and in my case, that is what is happening. So the connectivity between your application and the server is not robust, then you will not get the reply. So you need to be aware of all these challenges, because my internet, I have cut the internet right now. So after I sent the request, I switched off my internet. So you are seeing the problem right now. So such kind of challenges you will always face. So I'm going to kill this. So you see that I'm killing the entire process. And let me go back to the browser. And this particular application is not telling anything to the user. You see that it is not telling that, okay, it has got some problem or the internet is down. It is not telling anything. The user is left hanging there. So there are lots of things that you can improve in this particular application, right? That is what I was trying to say. So you can actually fabricate your own challenges, and you can try to overcome that challenge, and make that as a document, so that you will know how to work in the real world. Most of the time it is simple problems that actually break very interesting apps. Ensure that you can work on such area, you can research on such areas and take on new challenges with respect to Slack. There is a huge, immense opportunity available with Slack to automate, to create workflows, to create functions, and the possibilities are numerous. With that said, I would like you, I would urge you guys again to go through this particular video again. Try to create the application, interface that with your OpenAI API keys, and try to connect, make the app work, and see how the things are working. So most important point I always say is about practice. And the code that I'll be using, that I shared to you guys, let me go to the terminal once again. So in the terminal, I already showed you this code. This code will be shared with you guys in the GitHub repo. I'll be sharing the link with you guys. You can use this also. But as I told, I have not made a lot of changes here. I've just given 4 or 5 lines, additional 4 or 5 lines, like these 2 lines extra I have added here, and at the top I have imported couple of modules from Langchain, and then I have created the LLM match chain. So the activity that I have changed, the code that I have changed is actually very minimal. Yeah, I cannot say it's no code. Okay, no code is something that it's going to take a lot of time for us to achieve. There can be a lot of APIs that is available, and you have to understand the APIs. You can reduce the number of lines of code that you are writing. Think about it. If I have to write everything by myself to connect with Slack, then I'm going to write hundreds of lines of code. The Slack API, the Slack Bolt API has abstracted away a lot of things, so that I am able to explain it to you in a matter of 40 minutes. If not, it is going to take more than 40 hours to explain each and every concept. But good, thanks to Slack teams, thanks to Langchain, that this is possible today. And also, what I want to insist again is that this is the future. This is how the future is going. Everywhere the applications are connected to the Python APIs, and the Python APIs also can be connected to the artificial intelligence models. So, and not just services, software services like Slack, even the hardware services can be connected to Python APIs and then to large language models. So that is going to be a huge changes, guys. So stay tuned for further videos on this series of automating with AI. Future is here playlist. And with that said, I would request you guys to do subscribe to my channel for further updates on the videos and share it to the others. Again, I would like to end this video with 4 words, that is practice, 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 practice. With that said, see you guys. Have a great time.